guys were wondering, if the die were to roll off the table, there is no re-roll. It would automatically count as a 0. And 0 it's not a positive or negative number, it is 0. So it counts as a roll, but it doesn't count for whatever the value would be on the floor. So just keep that in mind as you play this game. So I would go first. You always draw a card on your first turn, and every turn afterwards. Alright, so I'm going to explain the cards a little bit on this go around right over here. We're going to start off with the Fusionist card. Now the Fusionist card has hit points, which is the vitality. It has attacks, a defense point system. It's elemental attack, an elemental cost, an elemental ability, which would be their Fusionist ability, and their vulnerability to the elements. Now the card works similar to a Summon Doll card, except that in order to use an attack, you can just roll for the attack. You don't need to pay any elemental cost to do such an attack. Now for the elemental cost attack, for their elemental attack, you would have to actually discard an element into the perish pile, which is similar to the graveyard or discard pile in any other game that you have played, in order to do the attack. And you don't have to roll for that attack. And you can pick any creature that you desire, whether it be a Summon Doll card or a Fusionist card. And I'm going to show you the attack sequence very soon. You have element cards. Element cards are essential to elemental fusion because they allow your deck to fuse into a bunch of different strategies that you can use on the fly. And they also power up your Summon Doll cards and your Fusionist cards, so that way you can cause attacks, cause different spell cards, trigger other effects that we'll get into later on in the sets. This is just the very basic, just to get you guys a basic understanding of how it works. Now with this game, you can play 2 element cards per turn. In order to fuse the elements, you have to have the proper requirement, and I'll show you what a Fusionist element card would look like. So this would be a fusion element. This one's the lightning element card. So as long as I have a fire and air element in my elemental alignment, I can fuse this element card on whatever turn that I have. But remember, you can only play 2 elements per turn. So I would actually have to play this one down on my next go if I were to draw it. Then you have your Summon Doll cards. Now they also have hit points, defense points, elemental abilities, and they would have attacks. This one's the Griffin. This one has 27 hit points with a defense of 2. So if my opponent were to roll a 2 or higher, it would successfully cause an attack to my Griffin. But my elemental ability allows me to give any air or water card plus 2 defense points, so it would actually have to roll a 4 or higher to cause any damage to me. And the strongest attacks are typically on the bottom, if you will. So this attack right over here will do 15 damage, and I wouldn't have to roll, which is a beautiful thing about this card right there. It's a really great card to have in your deck if you were to play air type, if that's your kind of style. Then you have item cards. Item cards stay in the duration of the game based on the turn number, which is located right over here, for the amount of time it says on the card. So what you would do, you would play it down right over here, and because it has a turn marker of 4, just get one of your d6s and play the marker just like that. So every time you pass your turn, that marker were to go down, just like so. So when I say go to my opponent, that 4 will go down to 3. Alright, now with that being